everyone. This is Front Doors TV, an Inspired Media 360 production. I'm Carey Pena alongside Front Doors publisher Andrea Evans. And over the next 10 minutes, we are going to take you inside a Valley High School that's been transformed with test scores skyrocketing, all thanks to Phoenix Suns Charities. Also, we get to know Rob and Melanie Walton, their foundation, and why they contribute to so many Valley organizations. But first, let's go ahead and open up the office doors and meet Dr. Jacqueline Allen. She's a dentist leading the effort to provide over $2 million in dental services for underserved Arizonans each year. She has an incredibly inspirational story.
She does. She was a dental hygienist, single mom of 2 young children, and thought, I can do better. You know, and that's what I call somebody who's leading by example. So she put herself through dental school to become a dentist, and even took it a step further to become an endodontist. And thankfully, she landed here in Arizona, where she saw a great need with our homeless and other disadvantaged people in our community that needed these important dental services.
She's had so much impact. So this organization is called the Central Arizona Dental Society Foundation. No small name, but they're doing
Very
big
formal.
things, so it makes sense. Their event, Arizona Mission of Mercy, started in 2012. So talk a little bit about the evolution.
So this is this day at the state fairgrounds where dentists, hygienists, and other specialists, lab techs even, come together and provide these services. They described it to us as like a MASH episode, right? It's pop-up, medical units, if you will. But the line and the outreach that happens to get these patients that need these services is around the building, and they get them all in and they take care of them all in one day. It's absolutely incredible.
And we've heard this before, but it's very true. Oral health is so intricately tied to other ailments.
It is. Not having a properly functioning mouth and not being able to chew food really leads to all these other health issues like heart disease and digestive issues. And a lot of times too, they see these folks and they have severe psychological issues, and they can't care for themselves. And this is so needed for their overall health and well-being.
Office Doors is all about leadership. So just tell us one thing that stood out to you in terms of Jacqueline's tremendous leadership.
Dr. Allen leads by example. This is a woman who saw a need, gathered these resources. Her family even comes out from all their areas that they live around the country to come and volunteer that day. It's a real amazing story. We'll help you read the rest of it.
Love it. I love people who identify a problem and figure out we can solve that, and we're going to make it happen. And now it is time for our charity spotlight. On each episode, we love to highlight a charity or organization that really goes above and beyond in the work that they do here in our community. And today we have a very special interview with Robert Sarver, who of course is the owner of the Phoenix Suns. To date, the Suns Charities have donated more than $21 million to worthy causes with a really heavy focus on education. In fact, when Robert Sarver learned about a high school in Phoenix that was struggling, he drove there himself to find out what was going on. His support has helped totally turn things around for thousands of students at Central High.
We've gone from a 66% graduation rate 7 years ago to now an 83% graduation rate. $1.1 million in 7 years. That's incredible.
My dad used to say there's 3 types of people: the givers, the takers, and the talkers. And you want to be a giver. You don't want to be a talker and a taker. Kids need help with tutoring after school. So like when my kids come home from school, they got a mother and a father that are there that can both help them. Now I could only help them through about 6th grade, but my wife was, it was too complicated for me, but then my wife would step in. But anyway, we were able to spend time and make sure our kids did their homework, and if we needed help, we would hire tutors that would help the kids. Well, a lot of these kids didn't have that ability, so we said, okay, how do we come up with a way to get them to spend more time studying outside of school?
We have over 2,000 students at Central, and so far over 1,000 of them have already come to tutoring after school. It means a lot to our students, our staff, to have that kind of support.
My mom was a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah, so my mom was a teacher. My mom was a first grade teacher in Flint, Michigan, in a really tough area. And she said that part of her day was trying to get her kids fed. So my grandfather, her father, was a produce salesman, and he would give my mom the produce that didn't sell, that was still good enough to eat, but they couldn't sell. My mom would bring that in. She said sometimes by the time everybody got fed and got all the galoshes and the boots and everything off and all that, it was almost time to get ready to go back, to go home. But so, you know, my mom was a teacher, and of course my dad always wanted me to go to college. That was such a big thing for him.
Yeah.
You know, that you got to get a degree. I couldn't afford to go. You need to get a degree. They help stimulate the brain for real little kids. When you're 1, 2, 3, 4, that's when your brain is really kind of creating itself. And the more you can use to stimulate them, the better. We wanted to redo 50 courts to commemorate our 50th anniversary, and that was going to be the first one, but when we got out there, the soccer field was a little banged up, so we decided to help kind of redo that. I think it's important for kids to feel that they have a place they can go play and exercise, and they have some nice stuff to play with, and you know what I mean? To the degree that we can be a part in helping kids get those opportunities, you know, I think that's pretty cool. But, you know, going back to what I said with my dad, it's not, you know, really kind of an option. It's something you're kind of supposed to do. So I'm just kind of doing what I should be doing, I guess.
You know, Andrea, as a news anchor and reporter, I've had obviously the opportunity to cover the Suns a lot over the years and cover Robert Sarver as a business person. But this is the first time I've really been able to sit down with him and talk more in depth about his upbringing, because he doesn't always talk about that. He had amazing parents who brought him up to be a leader and to give back, and he cares very deeply about that.
He does, and we also learned in putting together this story that he is leading by example. At the 2019 Jump Ball, his star player Devin Booker got up on stage and announced a gift of $2.5 million to Suns Charities and our community. And he's going to be giving that in $500,000 increments for the next 5 years. Isn't that amazing?
And his speech was so beautiful. I encourage people to maybe go try to check it out online. Just Google it, because he really gave a lot of credit to Robert's leadership. And Devin spoke so eloquently about how that's impacted him. And you know, the same thing goes for athletes. You don't always hear what they're doing off the court. And I have to say, a lot of the Phoenix Suns give back to this community in a very, very big way.
They do, and it's made a huge difference at not only Central High School, but hundreds of organizations right here and across the state.
Central High School, man, they are tearing it up. I loved being out there and seeing those sorts of results. And finally, we are talking about the cover of Front Doors this month. It is a beautiful cover and an incredible philanthropic couple, Rob and Melanie Walton. Front Doors editor Karen Werner's Q&A is really a fascinating look into their incredible mission of giving back, and she got quite a bit of insight.
She did. A lot of people know Rob Walton as the former chair of Walmart, but he and Melanie have developed this amazing foundation, and the story really is the arc of them giving locally and globally. And we were able to cover so many organizations through this interview.
And you learned through this reporting that so many of the efforts of the Rob and Melanie Walton Foundation, what they support are really ties to their respective childhoods and time that they spent enjoying the great outdoors and traveling to national parks.
Yes, they both had these similar stories as children, that they did a lot of outdoors and traveling around to national parks. But you know, the description of the foundation I think was put best by Melanie. They aspire to help others by elevating people, planet, and purpose.
You guys had quite a lot of interesting coverage in this most recent issue of Front Doors magazine. Tell us a little bit more, because you're really doing such a great job of telling the stories of leaders all over the Valley.
Thank you so much, Carey. We're thrilled. We have 10 questions with Pam Cahaley. She's the CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona, that touches on the opioid crisis and the fight that Blue Cross has taken on with that and with the community, as well as some fun 10 beauty tips from our Chanel ambassador over at Saks Fifth Avenue. So we hope you'll check it out.
Saks has done a great job of supporting philanthropic efforts in the community. And they have amazing beauty advisors over there too. We love to go on by there. Well, this is Front Doors TV, an Inspired Media 360 production. Thank you so much for joining us. The mission of this show is community connection and people who make a difference. You can reach us online at frontdoorsmedia.com and inspiredmedia360.com. And thanks to our friends over at Saks Fifth Avenue for always styling us. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.